If you're mad about Edwin Diaz and Pete Alonso, you are not a real Mets fan. Let me tell you a little story of what it really means to be a true Mets fan. Remember Daniel Murphy? The Mets went to the World Series in 2015 where Daniel Murphy caught fire, was the NLCS MVP in the final year of his contract. And guess what happened to him? After 7 years being with the Mets where he batted .280 or better in 6 of those years, the Mets let him walk to a team in the same division as them. For just 3 years, $37.5 million, which is $12.5 million per year. And the worst part is his first year with the Nationals was the best year of his career. He finished second in the MVP voting and batted .347, which was 1 point behind DJ LeMahieu for the batting title. How about 2007? The greatest collapse of my lifetime, but arguably the greatest collapse of all time. The Mets had a 7-game lead of the NL East division with 17 games left on the season. They lost 12 of their last 17 games to not only lose their lead of the division, but to miss the playoffs entirely. This is what it means to bleed blue and orange. It's just the blue and orange way, man, and this right here is the cherry on top of it, because not only did the Mets lose their final game in Shea Stadium, but they lost a game that if they would have won, would have forced a 1-game playoffs against the Brewers. But in 2009, Citi Field's first ever season, the Mets didn't just lose the first game, they gave up the first ever home run in Citi Field history and the first at-bat in Citi Field history. That was Jody Garrett, who true Mets fans know who he is, because he hit the first home run in Citi Field and the first at-bat in Citi Field. Then there are players like John Olerud, who the Mets lost to free agency in 1999, and the Mets still went to the World Series the following year in 2000. Just imagine if we had John Olerud, who with the Mets batted .354 in 1998 and .298 in 1999. If you really want to go there, there's also Tom Seaver, the greatest pitcher in Mets history, and he left the Mets twice. They couldn't agree on a contract, so they traded him to the Reds, and they couldn't agree again, and he ended up off the team. This is just the Mets way. This is in our DNA, where a new chapter gets added every 3, 4, 5 years. Just 2 days ago, the Mets lost Edwin Diaz to the Dodgers. I mean free agency, where Edwin Diaz is one of 5 relievers in the entire MLB in the last 4 seasons to have over 240 Ks with fewer than 65 walks. But then 24 hours later, they let their all-time franchise leader in home runs in Pete Alonso sign with the Baltimore Orioles. The same Pete Alonso who hit a go-ahead 3-run home run in the 2023 NLDS to advance it against the only Mets key signing in Devin Williams. So if you find yourself sitting there, shocked or heartbroken as a Mets fan, welcome to the club. This is who we are. We are the Mets. This is exactly what it means to bleed blue and orange.